So guys, we have some brand new details for The Flash Season 9, hinting to timeline changes taking place, the timeline being broken, but also we do have some teasers for more returning characters, as well as a first look at Oliver Queen's return episode, all of which we'll be talking about in this video. So if that sounds interesting, let's hop into it. Yo, what is going on guys, Flashverse here, and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 9. So obviously as we speak, we are now on the interlude phase of the season. Obviously we have wrapped up the Red Death arc, and now we have headed into the interludes. We've already finished episode 6, which has aired last week, which was absolutely awful, but the two upcoming ones, episode 7 and episode 8, do seem a little bit more interesting. Episode 7 is obviously with Iris and Nia now, and we'll pretty much be going into like alternate realities, alternate timelines, stuff like that. It does seem very intriguing. Obviously, it's a big treat for Supergirl fans because Nia now will be returning, and she is a fan favorite for Supergirl. But also, it does have the concept of like alternate realities and stuff like that, so that is very, very interesting. But episode 8 is another one to look forward to. Now, this one will be a purely Barry and Iris centered episode, so that does make me happy that it's focusing on those sorts of characters. But it seems like we are having an alternate timeline episode this time instead of an alternate realities. Once again, very interesting concept, and when we obviously read over the synopsis, you will see this is actually very, very interesting. Now, I will obviously break down the synopsis, give you guys my overall thoughts on it, but also there are some stuff that does get me worried, so I will talk about that right after we break down the synopsis. And then towards the end of the video, we will talk about more details in regards to like when we're going on to break next. Because for those who don't know, we don't have The Flash this week. The Flash will be back next week, I believe, on March 29th. And then we will be heading into the next episode, but then we will be having more breaks, and I'll pretty much clarify everything towards the end of the video. But for now, let's break down the synopsis. So this is the synopsis for The Flash Season 9 Episode 8, and it kicks off as followed. Stuck in the past, racing to the future. A seemingly simple mold inspection at Star Labs leads to unexpected time anomalies. Barry and Iris try to make sense of the confusion and figure out how to get back to their reality. Chester admits a secret to Allegra, which makes things awkward between the two, and Allegra relies on Cecile to act as a buffer. Meanwhile, Keone meets with an old friend of Team Flash. So obviously this is one of those synopses that does have interesting things, but also it does have stuff that does pretty much make you sigh, like you just don't care for it. And which is pretty interesting, you know, stuck in the past, racing to the future. Seems like Barry isn't able to have like access to the Speed Force, so he could just simply time travel back to the future. So if he's like stuck in an area which he's not supposed to be, he's not able to tap into the Speed Force and go into the future. Hopefully they do explain that so that, you know, we don't have to make sense of it and ask questions about why Barry just can't simply use his time traveling abilities. Then obviously that does bring in the question, Iris wouldn't be able to time travel with him because Barry is a speedster. He'd be able to go into the Speed Force, whereas Iris doesn't really have such ability, if you get what I mean. But yeah, this simple mold inspection at Star Labs, this is quite interesting. Now, in regards to what this could be, I have no idea whatsoever in regards to what this could be. Now, the fact that it's timey-wimey related, it could seem like something's happening in the Time Vault, you know, where Gideon is, and there could be like some sort of mold over there that does affect the timeline, or it could be like where the particle accelerator is, which is obviously where we have seen Barry time travel multiple times. Those are like the biggest timey-wimey areas in Star Labs, so I'm guessing it will be somewhere around there. Now, potentially, it could be linked with the blue crystal in some way. I'm not thinking that, you know, the blue crystal itself will be at Star Labs, but maybe something like that, maybe like hints of it, traces of it, or something like that, just to hint that this new negative Speed Force avatar is still around. So potentially episode 8 could actually be the start of the final graphic novel. Who knows? That could obviously be a possibility, but that is heavily time travel timeline related as well, so it could be playing a part in this episode. However, I do doubt. I think they're going to save that for later on. Now, since the last episode, episode 7, is also focused on alternate realities, whereas this one's focused on alternate timelines, maybe the villain for the episode will still remain the same. That way, you will still have this like alternate timeline, alternate reality concept within 2 episodes. I could see something like that playing a part as well. Now, Barry and Iris try to make sense of the confusion and figure out how to get back to their reality. It will pretty much be like episode 1 in a way, where we obviously had them in a time loop and they're trying to like work together and get to like the end game of things. Which, fair enough, episode 1 was a big West Allen episode and it was heavily centered around them, and it was nice. It was nice having them like, working together and getting to the ends of stuff. But this is getting me worried. I want these 2 characters to have separate storylines. Every single episode so far, Iris has literally been on Barry's shadow. She's literally done nothing. She's just been with Barry the whole time. Which, fair enough, you can have these moments between Barry and Iris. I'm not saying I don't want that to happen. But it's when Barry is the Flash. Iris should focus on something else. That's what I believe. She has 2 Pulitzers to apparently win, yet we don't even see her in the Citizen at all. Like, she does nothing to work towards it. And over here, I'm just like, what are they doing with Iris this season? Like, last season, they worked her in so well in Armageddon, like, where we had her, like, investigating stuff. She's more of a reporter and stuff like that. I love those reporter type stuff with Iris. I don't really like it when she's in Barry's shadow and has nothing to do. It does kind of take away from both characters. So if you get what I mean, I want Barry to have his own story. I want Barry to just focus on the Flash while he's out there. And then Iris, while they're separated, focus on the Citizen, because that's what worked with the 2 characters. It doesn't really work with both of them together. And it is taking away from both characters' potential and storylines. And as we said, Iris is supposed to be winning 2 Pulitzers, yet we haven't even seen her work anything towards that. So all of this stuff is very, very worrying, in my opinion. Now, moving on, Chester admits a secret to Allegra, which makes things awkward between the 2, and Allegra relies on Cecile to act as a buffer. In simple words, no one cares. This doesn't interest me one bit, and hopefully it doesn't really have that much focus in the episode, because honestly, these few characters for me are what definitely brought down the season significantly, with them having very, very uninteresting storylines and just having those storylines no one really cares about. But lastly, in terms of the synopsis, meanwhile, Keon meets with an old friend of Team Flash. So this obviously does hint to a potential returning character. It does say an old friend, so it's going to be someone from the past. Now, in regards to who this could be, we don't know. Now, it could obviously be one of the returning characters who we know will be in episode 9. For example, Oliver Queen or Kid Flash. Now, it could be Kid Flash. We could be seeing Wally towards the end of this episode, and then he will obviously continue on in episode 9. I could see something like that happening. I don't think it will be Oliver Queen, because from set photos we do see that he does make quite an entrance as the Green Arrow later on, but also we have seen him on set as normal Oliver Queen, so it could actually end up being Oliver Queen as well. This whole concept episode is to focus on time anomalies, and I think that could be a way to work Oliver Queen in for episode 8, and then also going into episode 9 as well. Oliver Queen just being there would be a time anomaly, so I could see them working in Oliver Queen like that as well. However, bear in mind, in the synopsis, the only people that are stuck in this time anomaly, or just these timeline changes if you will be Barry and Iris. It doesn't have anything to do with what it seems like anyone in the outside, so it doesn't seem like it will affect Keon, Cecile, Chester. It doesn't seem like it will affect any of them. It seems more like within whatever is happening in terms of Barry and Iris' story, and it's going to be separated with the side characters. So with that, it does take away the possibility that this old friend could be Oliver Queen. If it did affect entire Central City, for example, then I'm like, okay, fair enough, it could be Oliver Queen. But if it's something that's just within Barry and Iris, then I will say probably not. And bear in mind, this is a character Keone will be meeting with, so I definitely don't think it's going to be Oliver Queen just for that reason. Another option could be Timeless Wells, as not only could she find a way to bring Barry and Iris back, and that could be through Timeless Wells helping out, as after all his powers are temporal related as well, so he could probably find a solution in regards to like how to save Barry and Iris. If it's only centered on Keone, like if Keone is going to meet up with a character to like fix her problem or just kind of figure out who she is, once again Timeless Wells could be an option for it. It could even be Caitlyn's mother, Carla Tenhauser, and that could be to like run tests and see who she really is as well. I could see something like that potentially happening. However, I think that this could either be Wally West or it could be someone like Cisco, because we haven't really seen Cisco. We had no news of Cisco's return or anything like that, and we haven't really seen Cisco interact with a character like Keone, for example, just yet. So we could potentially see this happen and get to see how this dynamic works. And once again, this could be the Cisco episode. You know, fans have been requesting this character to return. We've had no news about him returning, so maybe they were actually able to keep this one a secret because he didn't really require any outdoor shootings or anything like that, and we could actually get Cisco interact with Keone in this episode. I could see something like that happening, so my best guess is it will either be Kid Flash or Cisco. But now next up to go over will be some, episode titles and, the release dates for the episodes, because it does hint to another break taking place. So March 29th, Season 9, Episode 7, titled Wildest Dreams. That's obviously going to be the next episode that we are getting, so it's either going to be next week or the week after, something like that. And then the next episode will air on April 5th, titled Partners in Time. This is going to be episode 8 of the season. April 26th is going to be season 9, episode 9, titled It's My Party and I'll Die If I Want To, which will be the episode where Oliver Queen does return. So this will be Oliver Queen, Kid Flash, Diggle, Bloodwork. That's going to be this episode right here. Very, very excited for this episode, and it seems like it is going to be the start of the graphic novel as well. However, who knows? We could be wrong about that. Now, May 3rd is A New World Part 1, and this is for a fact that we know is going to be one of the episodes in the Cobalt Blue graphic novel. So it's either going to start at episode 9 with Oliver Queen and Kid Flash's return, or this is the episode. Episode 10 is where the graphic novel does start. It's going to be one of these, but yeah, I am just really, really looking forward to this back half of the season because it does seem very, very exciting. But yeah, between April 5th and April 26th, obviously that is a 2-week break, so we do have a long break before we get episode 9, which it's kind of painful, but it is what it is. And I know this episode will live up to the hype. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all of this. Who do you guys think the returning character is? I'm interested to see all of your opinions towards all of this as well. And yeah, I will see you all in my next video.